Are beds apotropaic? And now that mouthful is basically talking about beds are designed to avert evil. So in this video, I want to look at, are beds are they averting evil, or are they drawing it on? So this is what this video is about. Right guys, so what I'm going to start off with is just looking at a few folklore myths about beds, and then just basically have a little natter about it, because I was just thinking about something the other day after my last video about the cave, and I've always had something in my mind about, are beds magical? Is there a purpose to beds? And I just want to go through the folklores and then get to grips with what I've got in my head. See what you think of it when I get to it. Right, so the folklore of bed. Now this is on a website called the Icy Sedgwick. Beds are common, which is hardly surprising since people consider themselves most vulnerable in their bedrooms, which I'll ask the question, do you feel more vulnerable in the bedroom? After all, this is the place where we sleep and dream, because that's why it got me into the beds, because we dream in the beds. Is there a reason we dream in the beds? Is it obviously because we're asleep, but is there anything else? Because we have the doorway effect. Have we the bed frame effect of sorts? So we find apotropaic items around the bed, such as horseshoes hung at the foot of the bed to ward off danger, or other items like Bibles hidden at the head of the bed. In the roof space or under the pillow, a branch of rowan either in or near the bed might stop you from being hag-ridden. It was also considered bad luck to sit on a patient's bed, or you'd be the next in bed. This is probably rooted in hygiene practices and cuts down spreading germs, etc. So let's move down. So making the bed. Making the bed even has folklore attached to it. In Scotland, some believe it was unlucky to leave a bed half made. Any interruption during the making process would bring insomnia to the bed's usual occupant. If you sneezed while making a bed, you were supposed to take some of the straw out of it and throw it in the fire so as not to disturb the sleep of its usual occupant. 3 people should never make the same bed at the same time, or there would be a death in the house within a year. Don't turn your mattress on a Sunday, or it'll bring bad dreams to the bed's occupant for the following week. Others thought it was bad luck to do so, or you do lose your partner. And still others said you shouldn't turn a mattress on a Friday, or you would turn the luck. Try to avoid changing your sheets on a Friday, or the devil will control your dreams for the following week. It's crazy, some of these things, these sayings and what people believed in early days. And that's one of the reasons why I've been intrigued to make this, because you just don't know. And if you enjoy quilting, women who finish a patchwork quilt without needing any help would never marry. And you had to make sure you finished your quilts. An unfinished bedspread meant no one in the house would marry. This one is about placement of the bed. These people talk about that you shouldn't sleep with the foot of the bed facing the door. That's because coffins were carried out of the house feet first. Sleeping in the same direction was thought to be tempting fate. Now I was also told to do that in the sense of always face the door, because you can, if anyone breaks in, you can see them coming. If you had the back to them or on the side, you wouldn't see them as quick. So it's weird, isn't it, how that has changed. You should align your bed with the direction of floorboards. Putting the bed across them would stop you from sleeping. That said, you also needed to be careful where any floor beams were in relation to the bed. In 1846, a sick person in Devon seemed to be prolonging their death more than their relatives could stand. They realised that there was a beam concealed in the floor above. They moved the bed and the man finally passed away. Other stories echoed this belief that beams or planks across the bed would stop a person from dying. People also felt it was bad luck to put your left foot on the floor first when getting out. So position the bed so you can get out with the right hand side first. And obviously quickly you have monsters under the bed. And we can't talk about beds without the widespread belief that there is something living under it. That is an also thing. Monsters living under the bed. It's like a portal or something that is living under your bed. The access, you mean you've got like monsters Monsters Inc. and things like that in regard to doors and beds. How many of us even hate putting their feet out of the bed during the night for fear something may grab your ankle? So let me know if you fear putting your feet out of bed first. Let's see if some of these things are true. Here's another one. Always sleep with an axe under your bed. There you go, folks. Get an axe and put it under your bed. Always sleep with an axe under your bed. While keeping an axe close by might have also been a sensible idea in the wild pioneering days of America. It was also believed to cut through a fever at night, as well as guarantee male offspring and prevent nightmares. Rooted in American folklore, this one probably harks back to the pioneering days and times of colonisation. With some seriously dangerous animals out in the American wilds, having something close at hand to protect yourself as you sleep was probably key for your own survival. On a more superstitious level, it was said to be the bringer of good luck and led to sweeter dreams. Or likely because you were able to settle more easily knowing that you were somewhat protected. It was also said that it would cut through a fever and even led to male offspring, likely because of the more masculine connotations of an axe. And this one also talks about always get out the same side of the bed, like we just talked about. This is tied to Rome. The classic superstition is thought to have originated in ancient Rome, where folks were extremely superstitious, especially regarding anything to do with the left, which they associated with evil. Always leave the way you entered. That's ironic. If you have to get in on the left, you get still out on the left. This is pretty classic superstition that may still believe in today. It is said to have originated in ancient Rome, when anything related to the left was feared and associated with evil. If you were to get out of the bed on a different side to the one that you got in, you were likely to have a terrible day and bad luck would follow you. Likewise, if you stepped out of bed with your left leg first, you'd be in for some big karmic trouble. The only way to overcome this bad juju was by putting your right sock and shoe on first. Interesting fact, the word sinister even comes from the Latin word for left. So there you go, there's some intriguing things. There's one underneath. Never sleep on the ground. Always sleep in a raised bed, never directly on the ground. And this is from South Africa. So I'll not read the thing out because it's underneath. So the belief originated when a number of people died after sleeping on the ground in southern Africa. The theory of the creepy Tokoloshi creature came from Bantu folklore. After the deaths couldn't be explained through sleeping on grass mats or the floor seemed to be a common factor. Belief in the Tokoloshi still remains today across a number of southern African tribes and is said to have been created by a witch doctor to harm his enemies. The Tokoloshi is a small hairy beast that will bite off people's toes, so keeping your feet off the ground in a raised bed is a must. Some would even take extra precautions by standing their bed on bricks to raise it even higher. A more plausible explanation for number of deaths is that many people would sleep next to campfires in the Rhonda valves to keep warm, lowering oxygen levels and releasing poisonous carbon monoxide gas. So there's just a couple of things on beds. Now let me see if I can find a few more before I just have a quick chat. So another one I mentioned good many years ago was putting a glass of water under the bed. Now they say this absorbs the bad energy while you sleep. And you can tell it's worked if the magic in the morning there are bubbles and cloudiness. So that's intriguing, isn't it? Now it gets to me is, yes, it'll under the bed, it catches all the negativity and the bad. But what happens if you have a glass of water at the side of the bed? Is it if you have a nightmare or anything like that? Does that go into the water, like cymatics type of thing, and then you drink it? So you're drinking again the bad memories. I mean, it'd work if you have good dreams, wouldn't it? But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying when I'm looking at these things. These are some of the things that people believe. I have tried the water under bed. It has worked, but is that down to you putting the power into that? Who knows? But this world is just magical as it is. We see all these magical things happening, and this is just another thing in regards to beds about catching the dreams and the negative ones and the negative energy. It just gets you thinking, doesn't it? Right guys, what you're seeing on the screen is a dormitory. Now, you might be thinking, Paul, it's a cemetery. This is a dormitory. But let's go back to cemetery. So, the word cemetery is basically derived from the Greek word for dormitory. And ever since I made the couple of videos on cemeteries, the monumental cemeteries, and I broke down the word marble and was looking at the word dormitory, which is derived from basically cemetery. I was like, wow. So that's where the beginning of my journey was, thinking about the power of a bed. Because in life, people don't even believe in duality, but some people believe in duality, good and evil. But what I'm trying to get at is, I was asking a question at the beginning about beds being the anthropopaic, if I can get that mouthful out again, meaning they're there to ward off evil. But what if they're not just that? What if they're not, and they are bringing on evil? Hence why, the implication here of a dormitory meaning death. And you might think, is that it? No. I've got a few things that I've just found that's just made me go, what the flock? Let's say that, what the flock. So let's carry on. Right, guys, so I was surprised at what things are out there about beds and sleep, from ancient times to now. But there's a specific pattern that I've saw, and this is basically my first foray, as they say, into this topic. Just looking at something that looks so benign and yet it's revealed so much. So this image of a dirty bed portrayed like, there's someone alive but they're not alive. Is it magical for good and bad, or is it both? Is it intent? All the things that I've mentioned so far, and I'll go into my thoughts on that. But so this is an image I've portrayed. Now look at the bed. Now some people will automatically say, yeah, beds remind me of coffins. And back in Victorian times, there used to be places called coffin houses. Now they provided food and a safe place to sleep for homeless people in London, and you can see an image on the screen of them sleeping in coffins. So obviously the association with death and dreaming and what happens when we lay down, and is there a purpose to beds? This is what I'll be talking about when I get into my thoughts. But I found something intriguing, and you can see on the screen. It's not blown up, but it's basically I have an app that goes into Latin and it goes into a lot of the meanings you can see. And on the screen there's bed, and there's countless different things, obviously to Bedouin and different things associated with death, and obviously the English word at the side and meanings of what they mean. So I highlight the top bit basically so you can see it on the screen. And as you can see, bed, English, bed any sort. The top meaning bed, cubiculum. Sounds like curriculum. And there's different meanings for Latin, and then when there's words with it, obviously the sayings change, as you can see on the screen. But just look at some of the definitions for it. Cubiculum, cubicular, right? Bed, any sort. Number 2, any room. 3, emperor's box. Number 4, satsagetting. Wow, in a shrine or temple. It's a temple. And what do most of you do if you do pray? You pray when you go to sleep. Or, as this image, this old painting shows you, people used to pray at the foot of the bed. So portray that image of using the bed as an altar, as a doorway to your God. The magic of the bed. I mean, even appears throughout the Bible. We see various examples of prayer in different postures and settings. King David prayed while lying on his bed, as recorded in Psalms 63:6. On my bed I remember you. I think of you through the watches of the night. This indicates that lying in bed can be a context for deep reflective prayer. Intriguing, isn't it? And that's why I want to talk about it. Right, let's go back to it, because I just had to edit this in. What are you doing when you're in? Oh, you're in a bed. So you're in a temple. So a lot of people do the praying in the bed just as they're going to sleep. And look, it's in a shrine or temple. That's just a coincidence, Paul. But then again, look at number 5. A tomb or a sepulcher. Now, come on. Come on. I'm talking about the link with death, and in Latin to English, a bed definition means tomb or a sepulcher. Come on. You know, you can't get any more in your face, as we say. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this in a sec, but just for anyone who doesn't know what a sepulcher is, I'm going to read that out now for you. So you just saw me talk about sepulcher, and here it is.
Sepulcher.
Sepulcher. Now, it's just the same as a tomb, basically, but, you know, some people might not know what it actually means, you know, the definition of sorts. So I thought, you know what, I'll read it out while I'm talking about this death link. So, a small room or monument. It's funny, it sounds like the cave, doesn't it? The chamber, the room. Cut in rock or built of stone in which a dead person is laid or buried. Lay or bury in or as in a sepulchre. Serves as a burial place. And you can see the origins of it. Sepulchre meaning bury, and sepulchrum, burial place, Middle English, that's where it's from. Basically, Middle English via Old French from Latin, sepulchrum, burial place, from spellier, meaning bury. Sepulcher, not spellier. I've got spells on the brain lately, haven't I? So you can just say, I thought that was intriguing, and it wouldn't be me if I did not find any of this thinking, hey, isn't it funny that each day of the week, Monday, well, let's start from how they do it. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and as you saw from my last video and all videos, day in Latin is die. So Monday, Sunday, Tuesday, we're all dying. We're dying every night. We put our head, we laid to rest. And all this death link, I mean, is it all metaphors? Could well be. But we die each night, we go into a deep sleep. And you can see all these spells, how they interact with each other, and basically show you that when we lay down in a bed, we've been laid down in a burial place. I mean, where does our soul, our spirit, the dreams? I mean, people are still arguing today over what dreams are and who is in a dream, you know, because sometimes some people don't agree that it's actually you that's experiencing it. So there's a lot of things, you know, that's up for debate on a lot of things. Hence why people get triggered, because it's faith. So look at this and we see that a bed, and its etymology in one of the meanings is sepulchre, and it means a burial place. You can't get any more in your face, can you? Especially if the pillar's in it. So you just saw the definition and the meaning of sepulchre. Come on. Isn't this just mind-blowing? Something so like, well, a bed, it's a bed. And you find so many good, intriguing things about a bed. And I'm trying to make a short video this time, you know, instead of being hours and hours long. And we're talking about beds. But what got me here was that when you're thinking of a bed, what is a bed made of? Obviously, you have the slats that we've talked about, the floorboards type of thing in beds now, and you also have the springs, memory foam, and so on and so on. But the bed frame itself, what do you do with the frame? You hang it. Are you getting me drift? You hang a frame. And just look at someone being hanged in Gallows. Is that not a bed frame? Now think about it, just like a door frame, which is a portal, you have the doorway effect. I've talked about this many times in videos. Your bed is a frame also, and it is a doorway. It's a portal. And you're hanging and you're killing people by the rope in the frame that arched the doorway. I mean, on the left of the image you can see is what's known as the 2-penny hangover. They're not dead, they're sleeping. And they used to pay 2 pence to basically sleep on a rope. Is that not the same thing as going to the gallows to being hanged in a frame, a door frame, a bed frame? Tell me that. Just you know, I'm getting excited about this. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, for instance, another word for a bed frame is a bedstead. Anagram of bedstead is dead best or best dead. I mean, best in Latin is optimum, meaning the best, the ideal, the highest. This is just crazy. So you can see why I was intrigued. And then last week after doing the care video, I'm like, and the bed thing popped into me, and it's a bed frame. It's a bed. But bed frame, your hanger frame, and then you find links to sleeping on ropes. The gallows is a bed frame, and you've been hanged, and we go to death every night to be resurrected each day. Right. So I want to go to my thoughts now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little tidbit. I've really excited, and hopefully you can tell and obviously still understand me in my excitement of finding all these links. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, they call me the black sheep. You know they call me the black sheep.
Hello and welcome to the Black Sheep Researcher. Right guys, thank you for coming back again. It means a lot. So give yourself a pat on the back. Or chin yourself like I always do by accident when you're zipping something up and you go like that. Do that, have a good fart, whatever you want to do it, because I can't do it without your help, guys. You give me the inspiration, you give me the energy, you show me the love, and it's humbling, especially in these dark days when we've all got a lot on our plate. So as always, please like, share and subscribe. And if you want to help me in the channel out more, you can always buy me a batter, which is buy me a coffee, and the QR code will be roughly there, and the link in the description. So itch me nose, let's get ready. So the point of the video, I was trying to find a title that I could use, and it was hard to get out the title in my head that I wanted to do. So I went with Are Beds Apotropaic? Atropaic, meaning are they off to ward off evil? And the more I was getting into the video, the more I was thinking, could it be both, or is it the old adage of the intent, the intended user of the bed? And I think I'm swinging that way, because the more I'm looking into it, more I'm seeing the patterns and the meanings. It's a mind blower. And when you really take a step back and you're like, damn, he's talking about beds, and you're like, but it was bloody interesting, you know what I mean? And it surprised me what interesting stuff that you can find in a video. I mean, there'd be loads of topics, and like I said, I didn't want to go into too great detail, like, hey, this is all the cultures and what they say of this, and go through that, because short and sweet. Even my thoughts are going to be short, and let the video speak for itself. Let it be an entry or a doorway into more videos for myself and topics for you. Like I was saying, I made the video years ago on monumental cemeteries, and that's where I first come across the saying about dormitories and cemeteries being the Greek equivalent, in the name for it. And since then, it's been chipping away at me. And after doing that care video the other day, I don't know how I get to it, or you do your process, don't we? We all have a process. And I think I've talked in the last few videos sometimes some of my good ideas have come in bed, and I used to write them down, and I'm like, so it's always been there. And you're like, why is it a purpose for a bed? Not just said typical going to sleep, but is there a spiritual, is there a metaphor, is there something with magic that is tied to a bed? So then I was starting thinking, bed frame picture. What do you do with a picture? Oh, you hang it. And when you look at the gallows, like I showed you in the video with a person on it, it's the same as lying in a bed. You're hanging in a frame by the noose, and you hang till you're dead. And as I was saying through a few videos, the days of the week in Latin, the day, Sunday, Monday, in Latin it's Sunday or die solis, but I've used the equivalent, so it's Sunday, Monday, Wednesday or Wednesday. So we all die each night. We lay down, we go to rest, and we get resurrected each day. And we're in the bed, and the bed frame like a doorway, and we dream. Is there any connection to that? So if anyone has a circle bed, I know it's more of an art, but will it matter? I don't know. Still a frame, still a doorway. It's intriguing. So when you start thinking of slats in the bed, you know, if you get a cheap bed, you have slats like the planks of the wood that they wouldn't sleep in certain ways. Does that affect your bed? It gets you thinking, doesn't it? And then you even think about it, the last video when I talked about the cave noughts, and NASA supposedly had the pattern and made memory foam beds to sleep on, mattresses. Memory foam, you sleep like catching memories. So it's weird, isn't it? I mean, sometimes we do look into things and think, hey, there's something there, and there's not. But when you start looking at the breaking down of the spells and having a look at stuff in regard to the bed, it makes you think. Why does things come up? Explore. I don't want to explore. I'm filming. Can you just like not like pop shit up on the screen? So that's what me intriguing doorway effect. Bed. The bed frame effect is a frame of a bed. Standing up, it looks like a door. You have double beds, you know, single beds, single doorway. It's mind blowing. You know, I'm contemplating as we speak, and people have been talking for years and years, and you know, theorizing. Philosophers talk about dreams. I mean, what are dreams? Is it your soul? Is it your spirit? Is it unconscious? Is it subconscious? Is it you connecting to another realm, another you, counter Earth, the sort of thing? There's so much. The spiritual realm. People talk about astral projection. Just makes you think. And when we're looking into this, and we see, obviously, they're talking about using bed to pray as a, you know, as a child growing up and different things. You see that you're taught to pray at the foot of the bed. Some people don't want to do that, and they lie in bed to pray, and that's why I use that reference from King David. Because when you're looking at the etymology of the bed and in Latin, that just blew me away. So let me just find out. So it's on my phone. So obviously it was in Latin, the bed, any sort. You had 5 basic definitions and descriptions, and it was cubiculum, cubicular. And I said, doesn't it sound like curricula? You know what, curricula school or where you teach. Number 1 was just a bed. Any room was number 2, emperor's box. And then number 4, inner shrine of temple. And that got me thinking, and I said in the video, beds, could it be an altar, a gateway, a doorway to prayer, like it was said in that verse? And you're like, wow. So the bed acts, because you always have like monsters under the bed and beds are portals and different things, and you're thinking, hey, could it be an altar and a way of connecting to your God or some type of energy or entity, because the power of dreams. So if you're praying and that is getting your mindset into a particular pattern of frequency, and it's the etymology tied to a shrine or a temple, that got me. Because, and then King David verse, and I was just thinking out loud to myself when I was making it. King David was talking about the temple. The etymology of bed is in a shrine or temple. Could this be the fabled third temple? The bed. People are looking for a physical temple to be built. Could that be a metaphor for a bed? Wow. So the new third temple could be a dream, a place where you can connect via praying through your altar, your bed, your shrine, your temple. And then you get on to the 5th definition, tomb or sepulcher. A tomb, a chamber, a cave. So it seems to be finding these things where we talk about being in a room, a chamber, and the bed is known, because sometimes, you know, the pot, the bedroom pot chamber and stuff like that. It's weird. So you know, when you think about King David praying in the bed, could he be talking about the third temple being a place where you get to while you're asleep in your shrine or your temple? and then it being a tomb and sepulcher. So all those connections with the death, and then going to sleep each night and dying from a Sunday, sun, solace day, a Sunday, to the moon day. So we're dying, we're laying in our coffins, and we're getting transported to the next day. We arise, we are resurrected. It just blows me away. There's so many places and you can go with that. So many places you can visit. They always talk about the imagination, but when you dream, and it always comes back to the film, you know, Freddy Krueger, the Dream Watchers, the Dream Warriors. I think that was the third one. And one of the verses, which is from a prayer, but is slightly changed. I'll read out the original in a minute, but I'm reading out my phone. So it says, the film comes from a line in a prayer. Now, lay me down to sleep, which reads, if I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. And Craven previously used the prayer as a mantra for Nancy Thompson in The Nightmare on Elm Street. My Soul to Take was released by such and such in 2010. So like the verse itself, now I lay me down to sleep, I pray. So you're praying at your altar, you're praying in your tomb, my soul to keep. So is this about your soul, energy? Is it like a docking station for your phone? You're putting it on to charge, and then you go idle, and your soul, your spirit goes elsewhere while your vessel is charging back up. His love be with me through the night, and wake me in the morning light. And if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. So you're at an altar, and you're basically praying to God or a God, that if I die in the night, you can take my soul. Like a covenant. Fucking wow. When you look at it like that, blood, stop with these fucking pop-ups. Wow, guys. You see why I get excited when you learn new shit. Wow, so your bed is a shrine, a temple, or a tomb, and you're praying, oh, if I die in the night, you can take my soul, I'll give you permission. And then you have all the links to the devil and different things if you step out the bed. There's all those links to the witching hour if you wake up at that certain time. All regards to the bed. Positioning the bed, all the energies that could affect your night's sleep. It's bloody wild. Wow. Whoa! It's blowing my mind. Just a simple thing like this. Look at the etymology, the Latin for the bed. In a temple, tomb, a sepulcher. Oh God. And then obviously, when you start thinking of bed frames, hanging nooses, and seeing the connection with the two penny hangover and the coffin houses, it's like, I don't know if it is. Because you know what the people like to correct you, but I wonder if that's where that term sleeping rough comes from. You know, because you're sleeping on a clothesline, basically hanging yourself. The symbolism, the energy that is created. Where's this energy go? Where's it harvest? Is it harvest? So then when you start looking at, as you can see on the screen, that was it in the video. And that is just a frame to a gallows. It's a bed. It's a portal. It's a doorway. You saw them things now where you have the little camera and people are going waving, and these portals to take you to the other side of this realm. You're dying in a doorway. I've talked about the doorway effect. I've talked about the doorknob rituals. The celebrities get hanged on doors. Now it's all making more sense to me. And seeing that then in the Bible verse, and then you know they use that in Nightmare on Elm Street, where you know he's the dream, you know, he comes and can harm you in your dreams, and that verse, and now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep, and if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. It's like wow. when you start looking at things a little bit different, it gets you, doesn't it? And we talk about all these things, and like, I'm thinking, you know what? So I showed that, and I said, you know what? Some in America you call them sometimes bedsteads, and that's dead best or best dead. You're talking about the best death, and the ideal, the optimum. Tell me that it's not like playing with your mind, like, and something that started as so. Oh yeah, you're making a video about a bed, and people won't watch it because they'll think Apotropaic bed, and I'm like, oh, that sounds shite, but it's really gripped me. Something so like trivial as a bed. It's taking a step back and thinking of it spiritually and metaphorically. We're sleeping indoors, and then we go to sleep, we rest, we're dying. Our energy, our soul goes on a wander, and we dream. The power of dreams, you know. And you see the link then with evil as well, both the dual nature. And I think, is it both? Because you used to do a lot of things around the bed to ward off evil and illness and different things. And it's like, where is the energy going if you die in a bed? Pardon me. I mean, all these, you know, you die and your body, and you're going down the tunnel. Well, you're in basically your bed is a giant doorway, a portal. I'm excited, guys, and my head is racing with ideas for future videos, future things. But I just wanted to keep this quick, short and sweet. Say, hey, look at this, talking about doors and are they to ward off evil? Now, ask you, are beds to ward off evil? But there's so many things to show you that it's to ward off evil, and you need sleep, because if you don't sleep and you have insomnia and different things, it affects your body and your health. So we've always talked about, if there's something as trivial and benign as the doorway effect, you walk through a door, you forget it's breaking your connection. I've talked about this in so many videos, and now you're talking about something where you are in a lot of your time in this vessel. You're going to sleep in a coffin, a bed, a temple, a chamber. You're doing your praying, you're doing your thinking, your creative thinking. And is this a place where people are just honing in and harnessing your thoughts, your inspirations, and it's all in a mixing pot? I've talked about the records, the Akashic or Akashic records and different things, and how your thoughts are in the atmosphere and different things. I've talked about these, but when you start looking at this in a way of people going to sleep and then going off into other worlds, doing things, and like you're in a doorway, and you're like, dang, son. And I just can't wait to see where I go with this in future videos. But again, I just wanted to keep it short and sweet, share this quick idea with you, because the last video was long, heavy. It was really good, had some really good feedback. You had some idiots, but that's part of the course. People just want to put you down. They're not real people, not real truthers, as this word goes, truthers. People don't have to be negative. I'm being brought up different, but these people just want attention. So hopefully you enjoyed this little short video, and it just inspires. I get inspired by you guys to keep going. It's hard. Some days I feel like, you know what, I've done enough. You know, I've shared enough of my crazy brain and my crazy connections. Should I call it quits? Leave it a bit, and because my life is such hectic, and I'm finding it harder and harder to do content. But I keep coming back because you guys show me the love, and I love it. You get emotional in these times. So this is what we use, and we talked about the connection that we all have. And then you talk about a bed being a doorway, a portal, a shrine. I mean, we're not even talked about how we procreate, and you can call it whatever you want to call it, sex, making love, and whatever people term they use. I'm not saying you do it always in a bed, but you know what I mean. For people to experiment and do other things, you know what I mean. But primarily, that is where the action takes place. So it's that energy of two souls coming together, creating a third. Wow! And you're in a door, you're in a portal, and we know about procreation and who is a god of that. I've showed you many times. I mean, I didn't even put in the last video, but another name that Janos, the doorway, the portal king, goes by is Summonus. Summon. Prayer to summon. It's crazy. So, I know I did a what if about the third temple being some connection with the bed and dreams. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just thinking, wow, he used to pray a lot, according to the Bible, in his bed. So that's when he had a good. Some people have good thoughts on the throne. You know, the throne, the toilet. Some people have it in bed. Some people have it in waking dreams, and different things. But I just thought that was wow. So could that be the third temple, and all the things that go with this? Praying a temple. Wow. So hopefully, guys, you enjoy it. Please hit the like button if you do. Please obviously like it, share it, and subscribe if you've not. Please check, because it's just unsubscribing people daily. And if you want to help me in the channel, you can always buy me a coffee. It's humbling when you do that, guys, because I know times are hard. But I will see you again, and let's see what we can get up to. See if we can cause any mischief. Good mischief, but mischief nonetheless. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video asking the question about are beds anthropaic, meaning do they ward off evil? I personally think it's a bit of both. The intent, you know, if you are good and use it for good, good things will happen. The people, them who are labelled evil, they can use it to harness your energy, to get into your head, get into your dreams. Wow. Interesting, isn't it? Something so trivial as a door and a bed connection. Right, guys, take care, stay safe, good dreams, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Don't forget, hit the like. Bye, guys. Bye. Come on, hit the stop.